Gemini CLI VOR 36.0 just changed everything. Sub-agents are here. You've been running one AI agent at a time, watching it chew through your context window, slowing down, getting confused, losing track. That's not how it should work. And with Gemini CLI VO 36, no, it doesn't have to anymore. Hey, I'm the digital avatar of Julian Goldie, and today we're breaking down everything new in Gemini CLI VO 36.0, which dropped on April 2nd, 2026. This is one of the biggest updates they've shipped. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how to use sub-agents, how to set them up, and what all the other changes mean for your workflow. There's a lot to cover, so let's get into it. So let's talk about the headline feature, agents. Because if you've been using Gemini CLI for anything serious, big code bases, complex tasks, multi-step automation, you've probably run into the same problem. Your context window fills up fast. The more you ask your main session to do, the more tokens it burns. And eventually things start to get slow and messy. Sub-agents fix that. Here's the simple version. A sub-agent is a specialized AI agent that you send a task to. Runs in its own separate context window. Does the work. Reports back. Your main session stays clean, fast, and focused. Think of it like having a team. You're the manager. You don't do every single task yourself. You delegate. The specialist handles it and brings you the result. That's exactly what sub-agents do inside Gemini CLI. According to the official release notes, and I'm quoting the team here, each sub-agent operates within its own separate context window, keeping your main session fast, lean, and focused on the big picture without consuming valuable tokens on intermediate steps. So you're not burning your main context on repetitive or complex work. You're offloading it. That's a massive workflow improvement. Let's get into how you actually set this up. Because knowing the concept is one thing. Knowing how to configure it is what matters. Setting up a custom agent is straightforward. You drop it into a folder called .gemini/agents. That's Gemini agents in your project. Once it's there, Gemini CLI automatically discovers it and activates it. No extra configuration needed. Just place the file and it's live. From there, you've got two main ways to work with your agents. First is the agents command. Type it in your session and it gives you a list of all your active agents. You can manage them right there. See what's available, what's running. Second is the agent syntax. During any live session, you just type the @ symbol followed by the agent name, and that triggers it directly. So if you had an agent called a researcher, you type researcher and it kicks off. Clean and simple. Here's the one I want to highlight specifically because it comes built in and it's immediately useful. The Acly help agent. This is a built-in agent that comes with v.36.0 and its entire job is to help you with Gemini CLI itself. Config errors, feature questions, troubleshooting. It looks at version-specific documentation to help you figure things out. The team shared a few example prompts to get you started. Things like asking it to help you enable Git worktree support, or asking it to help fix your MCP server configuration, or even asking it to help you install a specific extension. If you've ever been stuck trying to figure out why something isn't working in the CLI, this is the agent you're going to reach for first. It's like having the documentation baked directly into your workflow. And speaking of workflows, I want to pause here for a second. When I first started using Gemini CLI and trying to figure out which agents, tools, and workflows were actually worth my time, it was overwhelming. That's exactly why I created a community called AI Profit Boardroom. Over 2,000 members all focused on learning AI together and sharing what actually works. Real use cases, real implementations, people sharing what saves time versus what wastes it. If you're serious about getting better at using AI in your work, the link is in the description. Now back to VO.36.0 because there's still a lot to cover. Let's talk about the UI and experience changes, because they made several quality of life improvements that actually matter day to day. The footer layout got a refresh. Safety indicators, things like YOLO mode or plan mode, are now prioritized in the footer. They don't get overwritten by other UI elements anymore, so you always know what mode you're in at a glance. If you're working on a narrow terminal, smaller windows, split screens, Gemini CLI now intelligently hides ambient tips to avoid text wrapping chaos. Status info stays readable. More jumbled text on a small screen. It also improved the status messages. Instead of vague feedback while something is running, you now get specific text updates. Things like waiting for model, executing hooks. And they've added directional icons, little arrows to show you what's happening. You know exactly where Gemini is in the process. That might sound small. But if you've sat there wondering whether the CLI is actually doing something or just frozen, this matters. You get real feedback, clear communication. Now the startup speed improvement is one I want to highlight because it's immediately noticeable. For this update, you had to wait for Gemini CLI to fully initialize before you could start typing. That gap at the start when you're just sitting there waiting, gone. With v.36.0, you can start typing the moment you launch. If you hit enter before initialization finishes, your prompt gets queued automatically and processed as soon as the CLI is ready. So the workflow is smooth from the first second you open it. Small but genuinely useful. Let's talk about the developer-specific changes. Because if you're using Gemini CLI inside VS Code or working with extensions, there are updates you need to know about. VS Code Workspace context. The CLI can now read environment variables to automatically add all your open VS Code workspace folders to your Gemini context. You don't have to manually point the CLI at your project. It reads what you have open and adds it automatically. That's one less friction point when you're moving between projects. Extension skills now get a colon separator as a namespace prefix. What that means practically is that extension-provided commands won't conflict with built-in CLI commands anymore. They're clearly labeled by their source, clean and organized. Now let's cover the two new extensions that launched with this version, SonarQube and Stitch. SonarQube is a big one for developers who care about code quality. The SonarQube MCP server extension lets you do code and security analysis right inside Gemini CLI. You can enforce coding standards, run automated checks, and analyze code snippets directly in your agent context without switching tools. For anyone who runs code reviews or works on teams with quality standards, this extension brings those checks directly into your AI workflow. Stitch is a Google tool that lets you generate UI from text or images. The Stitch extension brings that capability into Gemini CLI. You describe what you want or drop in an image reference and it generates the UI. It also lets you manage design assets. If you're doing any kind of front-end work, this is worth looking at. The extensions are listed on the Gemini CLI extensions directory, and I'd encourage you to check them out. More technical improvement worth covering. Policy Engine now supports redirect operators. Here's what that means in practice. When you set up a command as always allowed in your policy configuration, redirecting the output from that command is now also considered allowed. So if you allow a specific command to run without confirmation, piping or redirecting its output works without extra friction. For this, you could hit unexpected blocks when trying to chain commands that were already on your allow list. That's fixed. It opens up more automation use cases without fighting your own config. There's one thing I want to address honestly before we wrap up. The release notes for 0.36.0 include an acknowledgement from the team that some users are experiencing long delays before the model responds, and in some cases errors. The team stated they are actively working on improving the situation. If you've hit response delays recently, some users in the comments reported waits of several minutes. That's a known issue and not something specific to your setup. The team is aware of it. It's worth keeping an eye on the official GitHub discussions page for updates on when they have a fix. That's the reality right now. Features in 0.36.0 are genuinely good. The underlying delay issue is separate and being worked on, so let's pull it all together. What do you actually do with this update? If you want to start with subagents, drop a custom agent file into your .gemini.agents directory. Use agents to see what's loaded. Use Acly help as your first test. Ask it a real question about your CLI config and see how it responds. If you care about code quality, install the SonarQube extension and connect it to your setup. If you're building UI, try Stitch. If you're in VS Code, check that your workspace folders are being picked up automatically. You may not need to do anything, it should just work. Status message improvements and startup speed are already in place. You'll notice them without doing anything. This version is a meaningful step forward for anyone using Gemini CLI at any depth. Subagents in particular change how you can structure multi-step AI work, and that's something worth taking the time to learn properly. If you're looking to go deeper on AI tools and actually implement them in your work, I'd recommend AI Profit Boardroom. Over 2,000 people learning how to use AI effectively. Everyone shares real experiences. What's working? What's not? Which tools are worth your time? Which ones to skip? Or hype? Just solid information and practical guidance from people doing the work. It's helped me stay on top of updates like this one and figure out how to actually apply them. Link in the description if you want to check it out. And if you want the full process, SOPs, and 100 plus AI use cases like this one, join the AI Success Lab. Links in the comments and description. You'll get all the video notes from there, plus access to our community of 58,000 members who are crushing it with AI. See you in the next one.